We'll be starting with addition and subtraction of fractions. So we have addition and subtraction of fractions. With addition and subtraction of fractions, one thing we have to know is LCM. That we have LCM. That's the abbreviated form of least common multiple. This is the basics in solving addition and subtraction of fraction. So let's have an example to help you understand using the LCM to solve addition and subtraction of fraction. So we have an example, example 1. 1 or 2 plus 2 on 5. The least common multiple that we are talking about is we have to find a number of which 2 is divisible and 5 is divisible. We can have a number like 20. 2 is divisible, 5 is divisible, but it's not the least. So we move on down to 10. Whereas 10 is the least, since 2 is divisible and 5 is divisible. So we have our LCM to be 10. So you draw a dash. Our LCM was found to be 10. 2 goes into 10 how many times? We have 5. So we multiply the 5 by the numerator, that's 1. We have it to be 5 times 1 is what? 5. 5 divides 10 by 2. 2 times the numerator is 4, so we have 4. We have our final answer to be 5 plus 4 gives us 9, so we have 9 over 10. That's our answer. 2. We have 3 on 4 plus 7 on 8 plus 1 on 2. What do we do first? Find the least common multiple, LCM. Finding the least common multiple, as I said, you have to find a number of which all the denominators are divisible by, and the number you are going to use is supposed to be the least of those numbers that all the denominators are divisible by. For this, we can have 16, we can have 24, but the least one among them is 8. So we are using 8. 8. 4 divides 8 2 times. 2 by the numerator is 6. Plus 8 divides itself 1. 1 by the numerator is 7. 2 divides 8 4. 4 by the numerator is 4. So we add the numerators over the denominators. So we have 6 plus 7 gives us 13. 13 plus 4 gives us 17. So we have 17 over 8. We can change this into the mixed fraction, or we can leave it like that. But let us also change it into the mixed fraction. 8 goes into 17 how many times? That's 2. Giving us 16. 16 minus 17, we have 1. So 2 whole number 1.8. With subtraction, example 3. We have 3 on 4 minus 1 on 3. The same thing applies here. We find the least common multiple LCM. Therefore, we have numbers ranging 12, 24, and it goes on. But the least one among them is 12. So we use the least, that's 12. 4 divides 12 3 times. 3 times the numerator, that's 3, is 9. So we have 9 minus 3 divides 12 4 times the numerator, that's 1, is 4. So we subtract the 4 from the 9, giving us an answer of 5/12. Next example on minus arriving. So we have 2 minus 1. For you to solve this, we have to first change it into improper fraction. So we have 3 times 2 is 6 plus 1 is 7. So we have 7 on 3 minus 4 times 1, 4 plus 1, 5. So we have 5 on 4. Our LCM. We have 12 as our LCM. Not only 3 and 4, we have 12 as our LCM. 3 divides 12 4 times. 4 times 7 is what? 28. 28 minus 4 divides 12 3 times. 3 times 5 is 15. So our final answer, when we subtract 15 from 28, we get 13/12. With this, we can change it to mixed fraction, of which we get one whole number 1/12. The next is multiplication of fraction. We have multiplication of fraction. With multiplication of fraction, there's no need of an LCM. So let's use an example so you have a better understanding of it. That's the first example. We have 1/3 times 4/5. With this, we multiply the numerators and we multiply the denominators. So we have 1/4 and 3/5. So 1/4 we have 4, 3/5 we have 15. That's our first example. We have 14/15 and 5/21. Let's multiply the numerators and also multiply the denominators. Multiplying the numerators, 14/5 gives us 70. Over 15/21 also gives us 315. We have to leave this in the lowest form. Leaving this in the lowest form, we have to divide this by a number that will bring it to a less number. So we have a number, we can have 5, we can have 7. But I use 7. 7 divides 70 10 times. And 7 divides 315 45 times. So we have 10/45. With this, you can have a common factor as 5, since 5 can divide 10 and also 45. So 5 divides 10 2 and divides 45 9. So we have 2/9 being our final answer. Last example on multiplication of fraction. We have 2 whole number 1/3 by 1 whole number 1/3. You have to first change it into improper fraction, then we multiply it. So 3 times 2 gives us 6 plus 1. We have 7 on 3. By 3 times 1 gives us 3. So 4 on 3. Let's multiply them. 4 by 7 gives us 28. And 3 by 3 gives us 9. That's our final answer, but you can change it into mixed fraction, where 9 goes into 9 divides 28 by 3. So you have 3 on number. You have 27. 28 minus 27, we get 1, so over 9. The next on our list is division of fraction. This also does not include the use of least common multiple. So let's use an example to explain it. We have example 1. We have 1 over 2 divided by 1 over 4. In dividing fractions, first thing you do is you have to change the division symbol into multiplication. In changing the division symbol into multiplication, you have to reciprocate the fraction on your right. So write 1 over 2, that's the fraction on our left, times the fraction on our right. We reciprocate it, thereby taking the 4 to be the numerator and the 1 as the denominator. So we have 4 over 1. With this we multiply. So we have 4 over 2. Leaving the answer in the lowest form, we have a common factor to be 2. 2 divides 4 twice and divides 2 once. So our final answer is 2 over 1, which is equal to 2. Next example. Our next example, we have 6 divided by 1 on 3. You know every whole number, it has a denominator of 1. So we have 6 over 1 divided by 3, 1 over 3. What I said, you reciprocate the fraction on the right hand side to change the division sign into multiplication. So 6 over 1, reciprocating the one on the right hand side, we have 3 over 1, which gives us 18 over 1 equals to 18. Our next is introduction to Boardmap. That's Boardmap. This is what to use when we have all these operations, the addition sign, the division sign, the subtraction sign, and the multiplication sign all in one equation. This is how to go about it. With this, we start from the B. The B means bracket. So B for bracket. We have O for off. We have D, divide. We have M, multiplication. We have A, addition. And S, subtraction. So in case you have, so when we find an expression with the division sign, the multiplication sign, the off, the brackets, this is how to go about it. So if we have a bracket in an expression, we start with the bracket first. So you solve the ones in the bracket. The next thing you do is, if there is an off inside, you solve that one second. Then you move on to the division. Then move on to the multiplication. Then addition. Then finally subtraction. Let's try an example. Solving some questions with example 1. We have one whole number 2 on 3 minus bracket open, one whole number 3 on 4 divided by 2 whole number 5 on 8. We have to convert the mixed fractions into improper fractions to have a better understanding of it and solve it easily. So converting the first one, we have 3 times 1 gives us 3 plus 2 is 5 on 3. We have 5 on 3 minus bracket open. 4 times 1 is 4 plus 3 is 7 on 4 divided by 8 times 2, we have 16. 16 plus 5, we have 21. 21 on 8. It says bracket first, so we solve the ones in the bracket first. We have 5 on 3 minus, we have to reciprocate the fraction on your right, so we have 7 on 4 times 8 on 21. With this, we can cancel out some of the numbers. So this numerator can cancel this denominator here. Therefore, we can cancel it out. Therefore, this one also can cancel this. So, and know that denominator can cancel denominator, and also numerator can cancel numerator. So we have 7 goes into 7 one time, and divides 21 3. 4 divides itself once and divides it twice. So we have our final answer to be 2 times 1 and 3 times 1. We have 5 over 3 minus 2 over 3. Since that was the answer we found in the bracket. With this, we have to find the least common multiple. Our least common multiple here, since the denominators are the same, we pick one of them. We have our least common multiple to be 3. Least common multiple to be 3. 3 divides itself 1. So 1 times 5 is 5. 3 divides itself 1. 1 times 2 is 2. Our final answer gives us 5 minus 2. We have 3 on 3. 3 divides itself 1. 1. So our final answer is 1 over 1, which is equal to 1. Whereas any number divides over itself is 1. We have 2 whole number 1 over 3 plus 1 over 2 of 3 whole number 1 over 3. With this, we also have to change the mixed fraction into improper fraction. So we have 3 times 2 gives us 6 plus 1 is 7. So we have 7 over 3 plus 1 over 2 of 3 times 3 is 9 plus 1. We have 10 over 3. One thing you should know about is off is the same as times or multiplication. So on our board mass, off comes before addition. So we start with the off, then move on to the addition side. So we have 7 over 3 plus 1 over 2 times 10 over 3. With this, we can cancel out the 10 and the 2. So we have 2 dividing itself by 1 and dividing 10 by 5. So we have 7 over 3 plus 5 times 1 is 5. or as 3 times 1 is 3. We have the same denominators, therefore the LCM, we pick one of the denominators. That's 3. 3 divides itself 1 times 7 is 7. Plus 3 divides itself 1 times the numerator, of which is 5, is 5. 5 plus 7 gives us 12. We have 12 on 3. We can change this into a simpler form, using 3 as a common factor, where 3 goes into itself 1 and goes into 12 4 times. Any number over 1 is the number, so our answer is 4. Example 3. You have 10 divided by bracket open 3 on number 1 on 2 plus 1 on number 1 on 5. With this, we have to change the mixed fractions into improper fractions. You have 10 divided by bracket open 2 times 3 gives us 6 plus 1 is 7. 7 on 2 plus 5 times 1 is 5 plus 1 is 6, so 6 on 5. Solve the ones in the bracket first, since it says bracket first. Bracket comes before division, so we have 10 divided by bracket open. We find the least common multiple. Okay. So the least common multiple here is 10. 2 divides 10 by 5. 5 times 7 is 35. Plus 5 divides 10 by 2. 2 times 6 is 12. We have 10 divided by bracket open. 35 plus 12 gives us 47 over 10. Now we jump into the division side. So we have 10 divided by 47 over 10. We change the division sign into multiplication, reciprocating the fraction on our right, sorry. So we have 10 over 1 times 10 over 47, sorry. We have 100 over 47. We can change this fraction, improper fraction, into a mixed fraction. So we are going to get 2 whole number 6 over 47 as our final answer. The fourth question is going to be under word problem. With this, we have a rod of 10 whole number 7 over 8 meter long, of which 4 over 9 of it was cast off. We are asked to find the remaining length of the rod. So let's see. Jot our data down first. So solution. We have length of rod because 10 over 7 over 8, which is equal to 10 times 8 gives you 80 plus 7 is 87 over 80 meters. And the cast off part, that's the fraction that was cut off. So fraction cast off because 4 over 9. Now for this, We know the fraction that was cast off, but not the length. So we actually have to find the length that was cast off before we can subtract it from the original length to get the remaining length. In finding the length that was cast off, now we have to find 4/9 of the original length to get to know the length that was cast off. So we multiply the cast off portion, the fraction that was cast off, by the original length to get the cast off fraction's length. So we have 87/8 times 4/9, of which 4 divides itself once and divides 8 twice. Let's multiply it. We have 87/18, of which 3 is divisible. So 3 divides 18 by 6 and divides 87 by 29. So our final answer is 29/6 meters. Now, since we have the cut-off point, the cut-off length, that's 29/6, we can subtract it from the original length to find the remaining that was asked of us. So remaining length, original length minus cut of length. We have our original length to be 87/8 minus 29/6. We have to find our least common multiple, LCM. Our least common multiple here is 24. Eight into 24 is 3. 3 by 87 is 142. 241, sorry. 6 into 24 is 4. 4 by 29 is 116. Now we subtract them. When we subtract them, we are going to get 145 over 24. We have to change this into the mixed fraction form, making it 6 whole number 1/24. Our last example, that's example 5, also underweight problem. 2 on 5 of employees in a company drive to work. 1 on 3 travel by bus and the rest walk. Find a fraction with who walks, With this, let's jot our data down. Solution. Employees that drive equals 2/5, 2 on 5. Employees that uses bus equals 1 on 3. Employees that walk, we don't know, but the highest fraction in terms of the sum of proper fractions is 1. So if we add these 3 employees pertaining their fractions, the highest number we are going to get is 1. So we have the total fraction of these 3 to be 1. That's the highest fraction, that's also total fraction equals 1. So in order to get the number of people that work, we add a driver, those that drive, those that use the bus, and we subtract from the total to get the number of the fraction of employees that work. So let's add them first. So we have employees that drive plus employees that uses the bus. We have 2 on 5 plus 1 on 3. We have 15 as the least common multiple. 5 divides 3. 3 times 2, 15 by 5. 5 times 1 is 5. So we have 6 times 5, 6 plus 5, to give us 11 over 15. Now we know the number of people that use bus and drive. So we subtract it from the total to get the number of employees, the fraction of employees that work. Fraction of employees that work. So fraction of employees that work, that's employees that work, equals 1, that's the total, minus 1, that's 11 over 15. This is 1. So we find the LCM, which is 15. 1 into 15 is 15. 15 times 1 is 15, 15 into 15 is 1. 1 by 11 is 11. 15 minus 11 gives us 4. So we have 4 over 15. Hence, 4 over 15 of the employees walk to work. Thank you. Bye-bye.